time to talk about oranges. This day had to come eventually. So what I wanted to do today is just compare some of the different varieties of oranges that are out there. If you go to a supermarket, usually it's just like oranges, and you just like take one orange, and usually when you do that you're getting this one right here, the navel orange. This is one of the most popular oranges out there. So I'm going to eat this one kind of as a control. Now what's interesting first about the navel orange is that it is a mutation. So there was a tree that was growing about 200 years ago in Brazil that out of a mutation produced fruit without seeds in it. So what they did is they took cuttings from it and they grafted it to produce other navel orange trees. And those little cuttings kind of like made their way all around the world. They made their way to the US, where it got the name the Washington navel. Now this is another case of a monoculture of a fruit. When you eat a navel orange, you are eating a clone of that tree from 200 years ago. Which is really kind of cool, but it's also kind of dangerous, because if this particular variety is susceptible to a disease, that means entire orchards will just die, because that disease will pop tree to tree, and there's no variation where there might be a tree that is stronger against that disease. And that's why we lost the Gros Michel banana, which I talked about in the past video, and that is why we're in danger of losing the Cavendish banana. And there have been a lot of issues in Florida with orange orchards completely shutting down or having to move because of different diseases. So a lot of danger in getting a fruit that is consistent. I, for one, prefer to live in a world where there are multiple varieties of fruits available, of oranges, bananas, and what have you. Yeah, it smells pretty light. You know, it's like smells like orange, oranges, but like a fairly light smell. Like an orange. It's got a little bit of a sourness to it. This one's actually not especially sour. I'd say like scale 1 to 10, where 10 is a lemon. This is maybe a 3 or 4. Fairly low. It's quite sweet. 1 to 10, where 10 is a sugar cube. This is maybe like a 5. And it tastes exactly how you would expect an orange to taste. Next I have the Cara Cara orange. This is another navel orange, which means that this is likely a hybrid of different mutations of the original navel orange. And what's interesting about this one is it's supposed to be like pink on the inside. Yeah, look at that. It is pink on the inside. It looks kind of like a pink grapefruit. Still very light smelling, so yeah, not anything really that I can detect. It's good. It's got a different taste to it. It's not as sour, actually. I'd say this is, I said the navel was a 3 or 4. This is like maybe, I'd say like a solid 3. Maybe a little bit less sweet than the navel orange. But it has like little extra notes to it, like floral, like a little hibiscus kind of taste to it. It's still fairly mild, but there's like little extra notes in there, which are pretty nice. This is a Moro orange, or also known as blood orange. Some of these are actually very dark on the outside, so you can, aesthetically just pick one up and you know it's going to be a blood orange. Other ones, like this one, it's not so obvious. And this one is another one that is a mutation, and the inside of this is supposed to be dark red. For the blood orange, yeah, check that out. That is blood red on the inside. There's no doubt about that. It smells kind of like, I want to say like blueberries or blackberries or something. That is good. Blood oranges do have a berry taste, which is kind of interesting. There is an orange flavor there, obviously, but those berry flavors really do pop out of it. That's really good. The skin on this is actually pretty thick compared to the other ones. As far as sourness, it's comparable with the navel orange. I wouldn't say it's any more. It's probably like it's a 3 or a 4. Sweetness, On par, once again, it's about the same. It's maybe a little bit less sweet than a navel orange, maybe around the level as the Cara Cara orange that I reviewed. Um, but yeah, really, really good. If you want something that's like an orange but with like a little extra punch to it, a little more uniqueness to it, this is definitely the way to go. This is a juice orange. As the name suggests, you use this one to make juice out of. They're usually thinner skinned and they got like a little bit more juiciness to it. There's different cultivars meant for juicing, including the Valencia orange, the Hamlin orange, and the Parson brown. Those are probably the three most common ones. I think this might be a Parson brown. If you know better about this stuff than I do, let me know in the comments. Not normally eaten out of hand, but let's see if there is a reason for that. Yeah, this one is like really seedy, which is another reason why you would use it for juice, because you can strain all that crap out of there. Well, that was kind of unpleasant. Just got like a mouthful of seeds, and I didn't really notice much else as far as flavor goes. So that's it's kind of a bad sign. Oh, I should smell it too. Doesn't smell like anything. The flavor on this is very low. I wouldn't say this is sour. Hardly at all. Remotely, maybe I would give it like a 1 or a 2 out of 10 for sourness. It is quite sweet though. I'd say it's on level with a navel orange, maybe a little bit more. It's maybe like a 4 out of 5 on sweetness. And it is quite juicy. Makes sense to use this for a juicing application. Eating it out of hand is kind of boring. I would use this to like round out another juice. Okay, this one I got tricked on a little bit. Okay, I bought this at a supermarket and it was sold as a Sumo orange. This is actually a decopan, which is a Japanese citrus fruit that is a combination of the pumpkin, which I've reviewed in the past, and the kiyomi, which I haven't reviewed, but I've talked about it in the past. It is a hybrid of the satsuma and an orange. So satsuma and an orange combined together, combined with a pumpkin. So there is orange in here, but this is more mandarin than anything else. So yeah, it tricked me into buying it, so I'm going to talk about it just because there is a little bit of orange in there. Yeah, nice orange color on the inside. And this one is really fragrant. It's already very juicy too. You can see there like how wet that is. As soon as I cut this open, it's just like a little, like someone just sprayed an air freshener around me. Super juicy. You just like push your finger in there, it just like dribbles out. I would say this is more sour than the navel. It's maybe a 6 out of 10. But when I bite into this, it doesn't make me think so much of tangerine or mandarins. It does taste like the pumpkin, and if you look on the inside, it looks kind of like the pumpkin, which makes sense because there's quite a lot of pumpkin in here. But I'd say it's probably on par with the pumpkin. I would eat them equally. They're both like kind of like the same kind of juiciness and similar flavor. If this is a competition, my number one choice here, blood orange. Second, I would say, yeah, why not? We'll do the decopan. After that, I would go with the Cara Cara, and then I would go with the navel, and then I would go with the juice orange. I'd say, like, if you were to take all these things and mix them together, that would be pretty nice. Yep, I couldn't resist. I made a juice out of the rest of these. That is delicious. Tastes like orange juice, you know, as you would imagine, but it's got like a lot of depth to it. It's got little hints of berries, little hints of flowers, little hints of kind of like grapefruit taste and pomelo taste and tangerine taste and orange taste. And this little glass of juice here cost me probably like $10 to make, but it's really good. It's probably cheaper than a lot of the juice places here in New York City. Rather costly, but really, really delicious. Nice mixture of different things. So I'm gonna go enjoy this, guys, so I will see you next week. Thanks. Hey, so at the end of this video, there's going to be a preview of next week's fruit, so stay tuned for that. But first, business! I want to give a shout out to all of my Patreon supporters. Patreon is how this channel happens. So if you want to help me out by giving a completely voluntary contribution to my channel, check out the link that's around me right now or in the description below. Big shout out to the channel Smarter Every Day. They help me out a lot on Patreon, so if you haven't heard of them, check them out. I also have t-shirts for sale. These are available on my website, which are also in the link below. If you don't want to give me money, subscribe, click the bell, like, comment, any of that stuff. Alright, thanks so much, guys. Bye.